What's going on, guys? It's your boy Trolltek here for another video. So today we are getting into episode 17. Yeah, 17 of the Untamed. Obviously in the last episode we had Wuxian sneak into Lotus Pier so that he can save Jiang Cheng. I was calling him Cheng Jiang because I was putting the last name last, but then people were correcting me in the comments. So it's Jiang Cheng. He got captured, which I'm sure gonna find out like why he chased after them in the first place. Maybe it was to get revenge, or I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, man, with the last episode, there was so many spoiler comments. Like, I say so many, it was like 3 or 4 I had to delete because, or I didn't delete it, but like, so I've got someone reading over the comments and they're deleting the comments that are spoilers. It's just like, is it that hard to not spoil? Like, is it that difficult? It's because, and I understand why people do spoilers. It's because I'll say something, for example, maybe they don't agree with, or maybe it's I get it wrong, and they want to like they're so annoyed that I got something wrong that they want to tell me the actual thing and inform me. And I understand that's where it comes from. It's from the love of the series, but it's like just don't. And like it's not even. And when I say spoilers, it's not even a matter of like, oh, this thing happens, right? That's bad enough. That's the worst thing you can do. Okay. But there's spoilers that are just like, oh, just wait for this, or it's like a teasing comment that makes you expect something. You know what I mean? Like, you know, those type of comments, that's also a spoiler in my opinion. Like, just I know it's difficult. I don't know that it's difficult because I've never had a problem I've never told anyone a spoiler in my life. But like, just, is it that difficult, man? Like, you know? Because I feel like the whole enjoyment of my reactions is me knowing nothing and just fucking theorizing and analyzing from what I get, you know? But yeah, anytime I am spoiled, I will tell you guys if I'm spoiled, with anything. Like, I'm be straight up. Like, I did get a bit of a spoiler, and it was basically, it wasn't really a spoiler, but it was kind of that leading comment, right? Like, basically someone commented, just wait for the reason why, Jiang Cheng went up, like disappeared, like just wait for the reason. Like, you know, like that type of comment is like, okay, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm clearly expecting something now. On there being a reason beyond what I thought it was, right? There's clearly an expectation being set now, and now it just kind of ruins that whole like thing of maybe it's a surprise by the writers, you know. So that type of shit, I accidentally read that, so I'll just tell you guys because I'm be 100% straight up honest with you guys when it comes to the validity of my reactions. I'm never gonna find out a spoiler and then acting like I didn't read that spoiler. You know what I mean? Because I try to make these as real as possible, my reactions. So if I get spoiled, I'll tell you guys I got spoiled. Or if there's a comment like that, I'll tell you, I'm kind of know to expect something here. But yeah, I just want to make that clear before we go into this. Also, I'm going to show you the funniest thing. Like, it's kind of genius, but it's fucking hilarious at the same time. So basically, I was thinking about like, okay, I want to record on this couch because it's comfortable to sit on the couch. Like the computer chair sitting on it for an hour or two to react hurts my back, and I just want to finish the reaction already, right? So I want to use this couch, right? But the thing with being on a couch is you can't take notes down as you're watching the thing, even though it's comfortable. So I was thinking, okay, we've got to figure out a way to create a table inside the couch, right? How do I do this? So I was like, okay, maybe I've got like a small table. Couldn't find anything, right? So I'm like, okay, the couch is quite tight. Like the armrests are quite tight. So maybe if I get like a piece of wood, right, of some kind, I can create like a makeshift table. So I found a piece of wood, and look what it is. It's fucking hilarious. Like, this is what they say when there's a will, there's a way. So this is a cutting board I just found in the garage. right? It's like old as shit. And yeah, I'm just using this as my table, so it works. It's stable, so that's the good news. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you because I found that shit fucking hilarious. Anyway, so without further ado, let's get into episode 17 of the Untamed. Okay, let's just fold that. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, that will go. So the Untamed, let me just write the heading before I forget. Untamed episode 17. Here we go. So like when I take down notes, I'll just pause it, take down the note, and then continue. Because last time I wasn't pausing, I kind of missed some things. So. Oh, they poisoned it. Basically what I was talking about. I mean, like when Wen Ning poisoned it. Okay, why are we drinking liquor out of a leaf right now? Honestly, bro is an alcoholic. Like he's 15, 16 and he's always drinking. Always. Like mind you, like he looks like an adult here, so you forget about it, but mind you, he is 15 or 16 years old here. Can you let me just talk for once in your life? Honestly, in another world, Wuxian would have been like a master fucking, I don't know, what would you call that? Like a brewmaster? Like someone that creates interesting like alcohols and stuff like that? Like he definitely said like if he was in the modern era, he'd definitely be like selling moonshine or some shit. He's got your bro, man. Why you being quiet? Bro, call him out so he can see you. You don't have time to just look at him longingly. Honestly, Wen Ning is quite, like, competent. Like, he's all innocent and stuff, but he's actually good at this. He's actually good at, what's the word I'm looking for? He's good at, like, what? It's like, there's a term for, like, you know, like, spy work. I'm blanking on the term right now, but he's like a good spy. Oh, he got whipped by his own whip? Wait, that's actually interesting. I'm gonna note this down. Oh, he's like hesitant to touch it. Interesting. I don't think Jiang Cheng is going to be happy at all when he wakes up though, because like yes, Wuxian has the thing of like I'm willing to accept the help from even a Wen clan member, like I'm willing to trust you. Jiang Cheng won't have the same reaction. He's definitely, it's like enemy on sight, any Wen clan member. That's how I feel it's going to go. Oh, Yiling. The Yiling patriarch. Are we going to start learning about that now? Oh, he even poisoned Wen Zhao. So, like, on second... Because I rewatched the last episode, right? Because I was just trying to get some details that maybe I might have missed. And one detail I did miss is... when Zuliu, I don't know how to say his name, he noticed that Wen Ning was there, and he noticed that he was doing so. I'm pretty sure, like, it wasn't overt, but he kind of looked to the side, and then while he was drinking, he was like, and he noticed something, and then he just was like, okay, whatever. So I think he knew that Wen Ning was doing what he was doing, which is why he hesitated to drink for a moment. It's not that he thought he was going to get poisoned, but he knew, oh, there's something going on here. It's someone that no one in the Wen clan would suspect. There's no one would suspect this guy doing it. Like, there's so much, everyone, you could suspect every single member in the clan except for Wen Ning, because everyone views him as this invalid, right? Like, he's dumb, he's innocent, he doesn't know what's going on at all times, which is clearly not the case. You can clearly see Wen Ning is incredibly competent and smart. But the image he has is like, no one's going to be like, oh, it was Wen Ning, because even if you like, he's one of those guys that if any member in the Wen clan said, oh, it's Wen Ning, it's like they would laugh at you. Like, they would be like, what are you talking about, bro? What? Wen Ning? Are you serious? Like, that's how they would react. So it's like the least, you know, suspicious person. Well, they weren't enough, clearly. Or Wen Ning knew where all the traps were and just got, like, destabilized the traps. Or this guy potentially might have got rid of the traps. I don't know. Could be either. Bro, you're more useless than them. What are you talking about? You're the one that forced them to drink in the first place. So this is the thing I'm talking about. Wuxian, if Wuxian wasn't the way Wuxian was, Jiang Cheng is dead. That's just a fact. You know, like, when we talk about his endless trust in humanity and helping people, it's like, if he didn't have that, Jiang Cheng's dead. He just would have died, right? Because they wouldn't have saved him without Wen Ning's help. So well, they're definitely going to reclaim Lotus Pier, right? It's clear, because first of all, the Wen clan is going to eventually get exterminated, and we see that Jiang Cheng is clan leader in the future. So it's clearly that they reclaimed their territory. So I'm just curious how that happens, obviously. Because we know the war between the 5 major clans and the Wen clan is approaching. It's 4 major clans now because these guys just got wiped out, but... Fuck! Look how bloody the floors are. Wen Ning 那小子真是有胆啊. Bro, get out of my... Like, can we just get rid of her already? I don't want to see her anymore. It's not even because she's evil. I don't care about that. Evil characters can be interesting. Like Wen Qiao, he is also irritating sometimes, but he's actually interesting as well. So I don't mind Wen Qiao. But she just like, all she does is annoy me. Like, get her out of my face already. I don't want to see her anymore. He's got no other choice. You have to trust him, like, regardless. You know, there's no one else that's going to help you. I'm curious what Wangji is doing during all this time, like... Because... obviously the Wen clan is still an issue, and these guys are dealing with the Wen clan right now. I guess there's other members in the Wen clan as well, like other units and stuff, but like... Like, why is none of the major clans dealing with Wen Qiao? Like, I feel like that's important. Like, this so-called alliance of the 5 clans seems very not an alliance, because it's like one of your major allies is getting slaughtered by this little spoiled brat, and you guys are just, what, fucking sipping tea? Like, what are you doing, you know? Like, at least, like, Wangji and all them have an excuse because they got slaughtered as well. Okay, sure, well, they're figuring out their own shit. But what are the other clans doing? To be fair, though, they did say the Ni clan leader was, like, killed or something, right? Or something happened to him. From the last time we saw him to now. I can't remember what episode it was, but they said that there was something wrong with the Ni clan leader. He either, like, was... in a coma or he died or something. I can't remember.
你听我解释，这里是监察寮，可也是我姐姐住的地方。我绝对没有要害你们的意思。如果我想要害你们，
So they've been just killing clans and putting these
就可以立刻反悔。
just putting these officers all over the land, I guess.
之人，
Also, maybe
不能
they
带你们到处乱跑，至少
so maybe they attacked all the clans at the same time, which is why they can't help one another.
监察寮这里是安全的，他们不会搜。
Or at least all the clans that defied them. Clans, I mean.
温公子说的对，你先不要这样。
I mean, I get the paranoia though. Your clan just got murdered. And like, it's Wuxian's responsibility to keep them all safe. He's gonna cause a commotion when he wakes up, I'm telling you.
魏公子，
I just noticed his new fit, he's wearing the purple of the Jiang clan. Like, this is the first time we've seen him in those color, right? Because the Jiang clans usually have like a white-purple color scheme. But this is the first time he's taken that on, which is interesting. It's like post their death. So it's like, it's fascinating.
过去了，就不用提了。
那
So I do wonder, I might talk a bit more about this, but I do wonder, the clothes that he wears and the color scheme that he has, it seems to shift as after tragedy. So I do wonder if the red, like black color scheme is, like, was how the colors that his parents used to wear, and that it's like, it's a tribute. Because like straight after the clan's death, he started wearing their colors as well. Maybe it's just chance, but I feel like this is one of those shows where every detail is there on purpose to illustrate something.
罢了。
I feel like they're setting up everything for Wuxian to be the one to land the killing blow.
怎么？你现在就要杀我吗？
He's like, if you have nothing to do with the clan's death, I won't touch you. Because I think with Wuxian, it's like, it's one of those things is like, he can be a brutal guy, but only to those who are directly responsible for those crimes against him or the people he loves. Like, I don't think he's one of those guys that, oh, you're the son of this guy that killed my whatever, I'm going to kill you. It's not one of those things. Like, if someone's directly does something, he'd be a ruthless motherfucker. But other than that, I think he is forgiving and willing to trust people. Like, he's willing to be even friends with, like, the son of his parents' murderers, for example. I think he's that type of guy. As long as they're not, you know, a villain as well. We actually don't know how his parents died. I don't know if they were murdered or was something else happened, but... Because it seems that they died when they were quite young, so surely they didn't die of, like, sickness or anything. Probably got murdered. Is he dying?
他怎么了？
Well, he's clearly not dying because he was alive in the future, but... It looks like he was dead staring into the fucking...
你说话呀，江城。
What's going on with him? Oh, okay, he is alive. I was gonna say, like, is bro alright?
你再打我一场，啊，再打我一掌试试。不用打了。
Oh shit! What did they take from him? Because that she felt his palm. I mean, not his palm, his pulse, and she was like, impossible, right? So what did she take? What did they take from him? That's interesting. What's his name? That's interesting. I'm gonna get into that. Something about his spiritual ability, like his martial arts powers.
为什么要叫做花旦手吗？因为他那双手可以划去人的筋。
Golden core. Okay, what? That's the first time they've mentioned that.
江城，你知道吗？阿爹和阿娘就是被他划去金丹，为了反抗之力，才被他杀。
Oh, that's why they got dog walked. Because they didn't have the ability to use their powers, basically. I was wondering why they got dog walked so easily. That's a broken power, by the way. How are you gonna have your revenge if you don't have a golden core? You're just gonna die. Yeah. He quickly realized that. I'm kind of nervous because I feel like Wuxian might make a big sacrifice here. Because we know the reason I say that, there's multiple reasons. Number one, Jiang Cheng has his abilities in the future. So we for sure know he gets healed in some way, right? That's number one. Number two, Wuxian dies and he's reborn or he gets a new body or whatever the way they explain it. They didn't really explain it properly, but let's just say for argument's sake, he reincarnates. He's reborn. Because his body dies, right? Those are two reasons, right? So I'm thinking, this is my theory. I'm thinking somehow, I don't even know if it's possible, Wuxian's going to give his core to Jiang Cheng somehow. And then after he dies in the future flashback, because it's a new body, that body's going to have a core, right? So it's going to be like, that's how he gets it back. And that also leads into the point of like why he died so easily on the mountain. If he didn't have like if he was just a normal human, that makes more sense, right? So I might be wrong, but that's just my theory right now. I just don't know if it's possible to transfer your core to another person. I mean, that's a valid reaction, man. Because I do feel like some people, like a lot of people in my comments is like, doesn't have any like kind of empathy for Jiang Cheng and instantly wants to jump on like the hate bandwagon with him. But it's like, he's a 15-year-old kid. Like, the way he's responding to situations, this is a 15-year-old kid that has never experienced a gram of suffering in his life. So like these reactions that he has, when I say they're valid, I'm not saying, oh, that's a valid way you should be reacting to a situation, but way he's reacting to situations is valid for the context of who he is, right? Is he stupid? Yes. Is his reactions like a responsible, mature way to deal with these situations? No, obviously not. But like from who he is and what he is and the position he's in and how old he is and all those things combined, his reactions are valid, in my opinion. Oh, he's learning. I am curious, like maybe I'm reading too much into this, but Wen Ning, I do wonder, he obviously is being trained in medicine because that's what their sect in the Wen clan do. Like that's their whole heritage, right? But I do wonder, I'm speaking of this based on the truth, because we know he earns the title of Ghost General, whatever that means, I don't know. But I do wonder if his body is more acclimatized to be good at like martial art as opposed to medicine. But he's kind of been forced in this box, so he hasn't been able to grow in that way. So I do wonder if they are delving a bit into that with this mistake that he made with the medicine. Or maybe it's just, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but...
他好不了了。
什么？姐姐，那我们两家岂不是要结仇了？姐姐
I think the feud's already been started, mate.
早就结仇。
Yeah, exactly.
温氏做的事情，不代表我们做的事情。我们世代行医，只救人，不杀人。
This is kind of what I was talking about. It does feel like she's forcing him into this box of you're going to become a healer, not a warrior. And I think based on the same, I think there is a clear, like, she has a realization that he has a natural inclination to martial arts. He seems to be more suited to that. But she doesn't want him to walk that path, right? So that's really fascinating to me. Maybe I feel like I am reading a bit too much into it, but I feel like that's also what they're saying.
什么忙？
我要医术，所有的医术、古籍能找到的我都要。
He's trying to find a cure.
你需要休息。
我要医术。
Honestly, am I the only one that I know they're not, but I'm just saying, like, these two actors look more like siblings than her and Wen Ning. So he's looking for a cure. I'm pretty sure, I'm like 90% sure what I said is going to happen. I think he's going to sacrifice his core to Jiang Cheng, sorry. Man, I low-key want Wuxian to be part of the Wen clan so badly, because I feel like it'd make his character so much more interesting. Like, he's already interesting as fuck, but I feel like if he... Like, not even part of it, I want him to be, like, directly descended by them to the clan so badly, because it just makes so much, like, narrative sense, in my opinion. But I know they're never going to explore... I don't think they'll explore that, to be honest. At least, not for a long time. Because we still don't know anything about Wuxian's heritage, right? Like, we know his mum was a wandering martial artist. We know his dad was a disciple in the Jiang clan. Like, other than that, though, we don't really have any context for, like, beyond that. The only extra information we know is that the person that trained his mum is, like, a really famous martial artist. Other than that, we don't know anything about his, like, his bloodline, and bloodline is very important in this story, in this world. So I do think they're going to get into it eventually, but we'll see. Is she just like, is she sick? Because, like, they don't really go into what happened. Maybe it was just from sadness. She came down with something really bad and that's it. But I don't know. It feels like she's been kind of, her health has been unstable since, like, episode 1. Like, it feels like she's a bit weaker, like, medically, a bit weaker, like, kind of constitution to her, which is, I'm not sure if that's actually a thing or I'm reading too much into it, but something I noticed.
阿谢，你累了。
不，我不累。
Right, don't lie. Look at you. You let the beard grow out, your eyes are crimson, you're pale as shit.
记载重新结丹的方法，只是这里的书真的太……
Yeah, you need a bigger library.
要是在云深不知处该多好。
Well, that place is not available as well. It's burned down.
神不知处，蓝湛一定会帮我的，师姐。
阿谢，阿谢。
Oh, okay. I'm gonna talk about this. Like, just the first time he smiled was a mention of Wangji. So I'm gonna explore. I'm gonna talk about that greater depth later in the episode. But
你过来，阿谢，你很累了，你得休息。
he's like, I don't have
阿姐醒过来
time.
你再倒下了。
I don't have time to rest right now, big sis. I gotta deal with this situation.
都是我。
爹娘被杀吗？僵尸灭门吗？阿成失去金丹吗？现在事情都这样了，怪谁有用吗？
Yeah.
能改变什么呢？
And it's like, how important do you think you are as well? Like, not only Wuxian, anyone that blames themselves. Like, how important do you think you are that you think everything that went bad is your fault? You know, like, honestly, in my opinion, people that blame themselves for everything that they can't control are more arrogant than any other person that I know. Because it's like, who do you think you are that everything that went bad in a certain thing is your fault? She's the only one speaking with sense for the first time in 5 episodes.
我们要回莲花坞的，你忘了吗？
Now I need you to have a conversation with Jiang Cheng, big sis, and we got this on lock. Gotta get through these 2 idiots, thick skulls. Basically what I was talking about, like her being the safe space for these 2 idiot brothers of hers, like, is why she's so important to kind of that dynamic of siblings. Because if you left it up to Jiang Cheng and Wuxian, they would have killed each other by the time they were 5 years old, I'm telling you. Oh, is she studying that whole time to fight? Is she trying to find the cure as well? Because I think she saw herself and Wen Ning in that image of the 2 in that scene. I wonder how much time has progressed during this time. Like, is it weeks, months? There it is. You're transferring the core. There's too much foreshadowing with the future and everything that was happening for it, like, for me not to theorize that they were going to switch their core, or not switch cores, but he was going to give his core to Jiang Cheng. Like, there was too much foreshadowing for it. She's like, it's not happening. He's like, nah, that is not happening. Oh! Well, that's not fucking ominous. He's like, I don't want to drop these prawns. I don't know if they're prawns, but...
你就救救他吧，他们都有恩于我，治好了就让他们走，温城不会发现的。
Yeah, they're on a time limit, so they gotta leave before Wen Chao comes here. It's also kind of against, like... It's kind of against her more philosophy as a doctor, right? Because it's like, how do I make someone lose something pivotal to them to save someone else, right? But he is doing it with his own... he's doing it with his own, you know, agency and saying, I want this done. So it's like, you don't really have a... She does have a chance to decline, but, like...
武城也行啊， 一半一半的。
So, okay, so he is going to sacrifice his core to give to Jiang Cheng. So, like, my whole question on this whole thing is like, so he's going to give his golden core, so he's not going to have like those martial art abilities anymore. He's just going to be a normal person, right? At least until he is reborn in Shuang or something. Well, you know, the body he reincarnates into. Until he goes to that body, he's not going to have like martial arts abilities and be a supernatural human. So my question is, Jiang Cheng knowing that, right, and still viewing him as an enemy is kind of insane to me, unless Wuxian hides it from him. That's how he healed him. Right? Unless that's the route they go with it. But we'll see how that all plays out. Let's go through the things that happened in this episode. There's a lot to kind of talk about. The first thing I want to talk about, let's go to the beginning of the episode. So Zidian, I think, the whip, I think that's what it's called. Whips, that's what Jiang Cheng gets whipped by. And I think that's like a very subtle, very storytelling technique. I think that illustrates, to me at least, this is how I'm reading that, is, first of all, I think this is the main thing. Because Zidian, that whip, I feel like is a representation of his family in a way. You know, I know it belongs to his mum, but it's like kind of almost a representation of the clan. Right? And I feel like him being whipped by it at the beginning of the episode, or like we don't see him getting whipped by it, but they say, you know, he gets whipped by it. Him getting whipped by it, I think, is a representation of the failure he feels towards his duty to the clan. It's like him almost being, it's like him almost accepting like, I deserve this punishment for failing to save the clan, like my parents, the clan members, disciples, all that stuff. I feel like that's almost a representation of that, him accepting that punishment. Because I do feel like that whip is almost a representation of what the clan means to Jiang Cheng, right? So that's how I read that moment. Going into that same point, after that scene where Wen Ning hands him the whip, you see this kind of look of hesitation on Wuxian's face to grab it. And that's really interesting to me. And I think what that is was Wuxian, again, there's that whole power imbalance thing going on there. Wuxian doesn't feel like he, as a disciple, even deserves to touch it, right? It feels like I feel like he feels like he is intruding in a place that he doesn't belong as, you know, a simple like disciple, even if he is like the head disciple, right? He's like, this is something that belongs to the bloodline. I don't feel like I have the right to even touch it, even though obviously he was the only one that was going to be able to hold it so that he could give it back to Jiang Cheng when he woke up and stuff. But I feel like that's like what was being represented in that moment, which was really cool. But let's move on from that. This is more than an analysis thing. This is a question I had, right? Obviously, it's not a question, but kind of just something I'm thinking of. Don't spoil it if it's like an important plot point, obviously. But, so we know that there's an old lady who survived, who was part of the Jiang clan, or at least connected to it in some way, or was serving the clan. My thing is the entire clan dead? Or is there surviving disciples, and is there like surviving clan members? Or is it just a matter of like the clan's dead, but the people that were serving the clan, like that, the Lotus Pier people are still there, like the normal citizens, right? They're still there clearly. So it's like that was a kind of interesting thing that happened, is like every clan member dead, like every disciple is dead. Because if that's the case, that's crazy. But surely there was like disciples that weren't at Lotus Pier at the time and stuff like that. I don't know if it's an important plot thing, just something that I thought of that I was kind of curious about. If it's obviously a spoiler and it's like important to the story, don't tell me. But if it's just like not something they focus on, yeah, I guess you can answer it. Okay, So one thing I really want to talk about in this episode, and I think it's a lot of attention isn't brought to it, but I think it was very obvious to anyone that's had a panic attack. I think it was very obvious. This episode, like especially when they first enter Yiling and they meet up with Wen Qing and stuff, is obviously Wuxian's on edge because he's trying to protect his siblings because that's the duty that he promised the clan leader that he would fulfill, right? I think that there was an element of that, but I do also feel like in those moments when some new information was being presented to him, I think that whole scene, Wuxian was having a panic attack. That's what it felt like to me. That whole scene, because his like breath, like the way his face was pale, he was sweating, like that whole scene, just the fear, the anger, everything, like him acting in a way that he never acts. Like I felt like that whole scene, Wuxian was having a panic attack. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I read it as someone that has had multiple panic attacks in my life. That's exactly what it looked like to me. But I might be wrong, or maybe I'm reading it wrong, but that felt very much like that whole time he was having a panic attack. Okay, let's move on from that. Okay, let's talk about this whole golden core situation. So I feel like I talked about it enough in the reaction, so I probably won't talk too much about it. Golden core, Jiang Cheng loses his. Wuxian's figure out a way to give his core to him, right? So that means Wuxian's going to be a normal person. It's clear that the surgery or whatever you want to call it is going to work. So he is going to be a normal human, which obviously is such good storytelling for me, by the way, because the way they set it up, Wuxian gets kicked off a cliff and he dies, right? And I had a question at the time. I was like, wait, how the fuck does this supernatural human die from that, right? Like nothing happened to kill him there. He could have survived that, surely. Like the amount of people that have fallen great distances that are cultivators, that survive those things is at least 5 or 6 times we've seen that already. But he dies in that scene, right? And then he's reborn or reincarnated, or his soul is called back. And I was like, I had that question there. I was like, wait, that doesn't make sense. But now it does make sense because he had become a normal person at that point, which makes sense why he died there, right? I am curious how he's going to survive 15 episodes left of the flashback as a normal person, right? So it kind of makes sense now why they did the whole reincarnation thing, is because it gives them an excuse to make Wuxian give as many sacrifices as he can for the people around him. But when we meet him in the future, he's got a fully restored body. Like it makes sense why they went with reincarnation, because he can give his core away, but when he's reincarnated, he's going to have a core again, right? Because it's not his body. So that's really smart. I really like that. Because there's always this thing, right, with writing characters that make big sacrifices or they give up their powers or whatever it might be, right? There's always this thing of, okay, how am I going to explain it when I give this guy powers back? Or when I return their soul, their spirit core, whatever it might be. How am I going to explain that in a valid way where the audience is going to be like, oh, that was an ass pull? This is an amazing way to do it, where he gets a new body. So there's a core in that body, clearly. And we know that Mo Xuan Yu, that was his name, we know he is like a cultivator, right? Like that was made clear in episode 1, that his body is a body that can cultivate. So we know it has a golden core. And obviously we see Wuxian in episode 1 do like a bunch of spells and stuff. So it's clear that he is a cultivator in that new body. So I am interested to see like how Wuxian navigates the world now. Well, obviously it hasn't happened yet, but I think by the next episode, how he's going to cultivate the world as a non-cultivator, right? Like, how's he going to cultivate the world? How is he going to navigate the world? Because obviously there is people that aren't cultivators, like normal people, you know. But he is now not one of them. So that's going to be interesting. That also leads on to another point I want to make. The power imbalances and societal views between cultivators and non-cultivators is very interesting to me as well. Because if you look at it, cultivators, all of them are nobility. We haven't met like one cultivator that was like a peasant or something, right? So even like spiritual power and these golden cores and stuff comes from a place of privilege, it seems, right? Maybe the only non-noble cultivators we've seen so far is that gay couple that we met, right, in the forest when they caught Xu Yang, you know, those two. They were the only but even they said they were from clans, but they just chose to do like they chose to, you know, roam the land and be cultivators as a couple. I know they didn't outright say that they were a gay couple, but basically what it sounds like is like they left their homophobic, strict noble families, and then they was just like, let's go on a gay adventure together forever and cultivate the land. So that's clearly what was going on there. What was I saying? I went on a tangent off and I forgot. Oh yeah, my point is cultivators seem to be also a big sign of privilege in this world, because like I said, the way they talk about like non-cultivators, which is usually peasants and people like that, it's like they're mediocre, they're worthless. That even Jiang Cheng, obviously Jiang Cheng is not a good source to get your information from, but Jiang Cheng says, there's no point of me being alive if I can't cultivate, right? Which obviously shows that clear disconnect between how the nobles view the people that serve them, that aren't cultivators. So I found that interesting. Okay, let's move on. I want to talk a bit about Wuxian and Jiang Cheng in this episode, and the two thought processes that they kind of not inhabit, but two thought processes that they kind of represent. So there's this scene where I forget who it was. I think it might have been it was a scene where I was talking about how if Wuxian didn't have that idea of helping people and you know, stuff like that, then Jiang Cheng would have died, right? Because Wen Ning wouldn't have helped him out. So helped him out if it wasn't for his relationship with Wuxian. And that made it clear. There was an interesting thought that entered my head, is that Jiang Cheng, I think, represents collectivism. So the idea of the collective and existing in a society and following societal rules, where I feel like Wuxian is a perfect representation of like individual agency, right? Where everything Jiang Cheng does or believes should be done is as a result of like the greater collective. What does the greater collective approve of? What do I, as a member of the greater collective, want other people to, how do I want them to behave? What are the rules set up by the greater collective? And anything outside of those bounds is inherently wrong, even if it's not, right? Where Wuxian's this idea of individual agency. Even if the collective says this is wrong, this is not the way to do things, this is not done, this is immoral, whatever it might be, he believes or he acts on the idea that the individual needs to make choices that are moral to him, and, you know, but based on him helping Wangji and Wen Ning and all these other people that he's helped, he exercises that agency. So it's really interesting, the parallel between the two of them, which I really am fascinated by. Okay, this is the one thing I was most excited to talk about. It's not like a big analysis, philosophical analysis, but it's the mention of Wangji in this episode. Instantly, he's mentioned. Instantly, the Wuxian smiles for the first time in fucking who knows how long. He has this excitement in his voice. He's like, he can help me. He would know what to do, right? And he's instantly up to go look for him. And that shows so many things. Obviously, this shows the fact that the only person that Wuxian really trusts to be on his side, to support him, to help him, is Wangji. as much as he loves his siblings, as much as he loves his sister, and he loves Jiang Cheng, and he respects Wen Qing, and he has this relationship with Wen Ning, and all these people that he likes. Wangji is the only person he has unfiltered trust that he will help me when I don't know what to do. He will figure out an answer. So I really like that. There was a small little hint, but it really shows his trust in Wangji and why their connection is the way it is. And I really love that. It was a small little scene. It was like 2-3 second scene, not even that, but it was very telling to me. Like Wangji being the only one that genuinely makes Wuxian happy and that genuinely makes him feel safe and appreciated and listened to. Even though Wangji is that one person that doesn't say a word, he's also the one person that allows Wuxian to feel, I think, confident in the things he's saying and doing, which is really fascinating to me. Okay, this is just a slight thing I noticed is what I love. So we have the 3 siblings, right? You got Jiang Cheng, you've got Wuxian, and then you've got Yanli, the sister. What's really fascinating to me is Jiang Cheng and Wuxian, right, are so blinded by the events that have happened. And they blame each other, they blame themselves, they're filled with rage and anger, they're filled with we need to get revenge, they're filled with all this stuff, right? Which is valid. But what I really noticed was Yanli's whole perspective of this is a terrible thing that's happened. You know, our family's dead, the disciples are dead, so many people died, we don't have a home anymore, our brother's injured, like all this stuff is happening, but her main focus is I want to move on from this. Like life continues and we need to stand up so that we can continue our lives. Like we need to be able to navigate the world now despite losing all this. And I think that kind of opens Wuxian and is going to open Jiang Cheng's eyes, not literally, but in a way where they're going to realize, okay, this is a tragedy. And even after we get our revenge, we need to continue to live in this world and we need to figure out how to do that. And I think that was the moment of why they were crying so hard, because I think it was the first time, not only Yanli, but the 2 of them were allowed themselves to grieve outside of rage. Right? I think it was the first time they really allowed themselves to accept the death of their family. I think that was the first genuine time they were just allowed to break apart. Like they did have that scene where they were crying in the forest, but that felt like more like tears of the shock of that situation because it was like straight after. Where this felt like the first time that they fully processed what had happened and allowed themselves to go through that process of grief. I don't think that process has ended yet, but I think it's that first step into that. Anyway, that was my reaction to episode 17 of The Untamed. Really good episode. It's just banger after banger. And I'm just like, as much as I'm enjoying this analysis of this process of grief, what I'm really fascinated by, like, what's Wangji doing? What are the other clans doing? Like, what happened to the Ni clan? Because we heard the rumor that the clan leader died or was injured or something. What are they doing? What are the Jin clan doing? Because we know that they were helping the Wen clan. Like they had bowed their head to the Wen clan in some way, to some degree. So what's going on with them? Yeah, so many questions based like on the outer world. Like how are the other families reacting to the destruction of the Jiang clan? Do they know yet? Like there's a lot of just kind of empty spots of things we don't know on how people are reacting to certain situations at this point. So I'm really curious about that. We also haven't seen Thing for a while. What's his name? The Jin bastard. The one that got kicked out of the Ni clan. I'm blanking on his name right now. We haven't seen him for a while as well. The last time we saw him was he got exiled and presumably he was going to go to the Jin clan to try that again. Or at least that's what the Ni clan leader said. He's like, go to the Jin clan, see if they accept you or something. So potentially maybe he went there. I don't know. But yeah, I am interested to see where all these characters are and what they're doing. I don't think we'll see them in the next episode. I think next episode will focus on the transfer of the golden core and all that stuff and a bit more of their grief. But we'll see, I guess. Anyway, that was my reaction to episode 17 of The Untamed. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.